Hello, hello, my friends. It is hard to believe, but we are already approaching the last week of October. We're not approaching it. We are in the last week of October, which means it is time for me to share with you guys the candles that I finished burning this month. Now, I typically do this video twice a month on my channel, and I did do a mid-October candle empties a couple of weeks ago, but since then, you guys, I have finished 15 more candles. I think the first one I finished 10. So here I go, just burning them all up. So we've got a lot to talk about. I tend to be a little bit verbose. Yes, I am doing a bit of batch filming today. Still same outfit as I wore for my Caramel Sundays haul video, which should be up prior to this one. So if you missed that one, feel free to go check it out. In this video, I have some Cringle candles, I've got country candles, I've got Caramel Sundays, I've got HOMEWORX, and believe it or not, you guys, I even have a Bath & Body Works candle in this one. So we've got a hodgepodge, lots to talk about, and we all know I like to chit chat. So make sure you grab a drink, grab a snack. I'm going to share with you guys what my thoughts are, if I would repurchase any of these candles. But yeah, if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you are new. And let's go ahead and talk about all of these candles. As always, you guys, I will make sure that I have them listed in the description box down below with any timestamps and any affiliate discount codes that I may have to offer you. So let's go ahead and get on into this because there's a lot here to talk about. All right, so the first one I've grabbed here is HOMEWORX Chai Pumpkin Latte. This is the second of two candles that I received in a duo. This was actually part of like an auto ship option with their Christmas and July specials that they were running back in June, even though it was Christmas in July. I did go ahead and repurchase the Vanilla Almond Creme duo in that Christmas and July because they initially sent that to me in PR. I loved the fragrance, so I wanted more of it. And then they had an auto ship option. Now, I did end up getting this chai pumpkin latte. Fragrance notes are chai tea, spiced pumpkin cream, vanilla bean, raw cane sugar. This has a pour date of April 29th, 2025. I did do a dedicated review on this one. Now, here's the thing. Is this going to be a repurchase for me? No. I liked it. It wasn't a like, oh my gosh, I need backups of it. And you can also see, you guys, on this last burn, I just let it go. But this was a pretty hot burner for me. And you can tell around the rim here, there's quite a bit of soot. Again, that on this one is more my fault because I did just let this one burn and burn. And you can see there's barely any wax left in this. And even the wicks started to move around a little bit. I was probably a little bit irresponsible in burning this one up. Honestly, I think I got distracted. But chai pumpkin latte. This one to me, I mentioned upon burn in my dedicated review that this actually I felt like had some similarities to Bath & Body Works pumpkin carving. Not a dupe, but I felt like there were some similarities to it. There is a pumpkin note in here, and there is a little bit of spice. I'm not sure if it's necessarily chai spice in here, but it's definitely more of like a coffee vein type of spice than it is, say, like a pumpkin pie spice fragrance. I did like it. Again, I burned through both of them. Strength and throw was actually pretty decent on this. I feel like I remember this being between a 7 and an 8 in terms of strength and throw, but not going to be a repurchase for me. I did like the packaging though, kind of this glittery plaid thing that we got going on over here. And as always, here we go. I'm just going to probably be like chucking these to the side unless I have them put back here. All right, another fragrance that I finished burning is Caramel Sundays Witching Hour. Now, I did do a dedicated review on this candle. Let me pull out my notes here. I was smart, and I remembered to bring my little Caramel Sundays wish list here. Now, do I have Witching Hour? Which one was that? Was that in August or September? I think that was in August. I got that one. Yes. Fragrance notes on Witching Hour were cranberry, musk, pralines, icing, and ginger cookie. This is not going to be a repurchase for me. While I do like the way that Caramel Sundays does cranberry, I think I like when cranberry veers a little bit more to the sweet side as opposed to tart. And this was a little bit more tart to my nose upon burn. Now, I know my friend Amy from Beloved Fragrance Finds, she loved this fragrance. But to me, I liked it. I liked it enough to finish burning it, but it's not going to be a repurchase for me. Again, I got mostly tart cranberry from this one. Performance was pretty good on it. I'd give it about a 7 in terms of strength and throw, anywhere between a 6 and a 7. But again, because I didn't really love the fragrance that much, I felt like it was one that I kind of relegated to the bedrooms. Now, a Cringle candle that I do love and I would definitely repurchase for the next fall season is the fragrance Pumpkin Waffles. We have fragrance notes on Pumpkin Waffles are pumpkin spice, toasted waffles, brown sugar, cinnamon, maple syrup, creamy butter, warm woods accord, amber vanilla accord. Now, you can see I burned this one clean all the way down. And you guys, this is one of the rare 2 wicks that had really good strength and throw. This one was a solid 8.5, almost 9 in my home. This was a very, very strong candle. This smells very much, if you like Bath & Body Works Pumpkin Pecan Waffles, I feel like this is very much like a sister fragrance to that. It's not as cloying to my nose. There's something about this one that is just a little bit more authentic and doesn't hit the nostrils as what would I say, as aggressively. But yeah, I do love this fragrance. It would be definitely a repurchase. I know that one is not currently available in a 4-wick, and I know a lot of people want to see it in a 4-wick, but it has not become available yet. Now, another fragrance that I finished burning from Country Candle, you guys might think, well, it's a little early to have finished that. It is the fragrance Peppermint and Cocoa. Now, I had this, again, in this little medium country 2-wick. Fragrance notes are not listed on this one. This one has a pour date of July 17th, 2023. But the reason why I finished burning this one is actually because I've had to burn a couple of peppermint fragrances for review purposes. In fact, last week I uploaded the review for the Candy Cane Martini from the new Reserve collection with Cringle Candle. So I burned this alongside that. I also have the fragrance Snow Walk that I figured that this would pair nicely with. And there really was only I thought that I had more burns on this, but truthfully, I think I really only had one more burn on this candle. So I was like, let's go ahead and finish it up. I do like this fragrance. I have concluded with peppermint fragrances, I like them to either be blended with a chocolate or a vanilla note. I don't tend to like just straight up clean peppermint. If you caught that review for Candy Cane Martini, I go into more thoughts on that. But this I do like. I feel like this is very authentic to the drink that you would get at Starbucks. It's got that hot chocolate vibe, which you guys know I'm not always a big fan of chocolate scents. But it does have that hot chocolate vibe going on with the perfect amount of peppermint and vanilla in here. Very well done. So if you want an authentic fragrance to the Starbucks version, then I would say get this. Not sure that I will repurchase it just because we know Cody is not really a huge fan of peppermint fragrances. And truthfully, you guys, when it comes to the holidays, while I like peppermint fragrances, they're not as nostalgic as some of the other candles that I typically like to give priority to during that December, candle burning season. So I don't think it'll be a repurchase for me moving forward, but I did enjoy it. Now, let's talk about another HOMEWORX candle that I have repurchased in the past. And I feel like this was the year that maybe I started to feel a little bit over this fragrance. This is the scent Palo Santo Pumpkin. Now, you guys might be kind of surprised by my feelings about that. Palo Santo, pumpkin puree, cinnamon stick, suede wood are the fragrance notes on this candle. And I did have this one in my collection from 2024. I had purchased this in last fall, and I'm kind of glad that I did in some ways because this fragrance only came back in a 3-wick this year. I don't know if it's still on the website, but this is a nice scent, you guys. If you like kind of that suede, slightly masculine, woody Palo Santo type of fragrances, then you would like this one. But I think for me, this one kind of ran its course by this year. I do like the fragrance. I love the packaging on this. I feel like this is one of the cases where HOMEWORX does a really good job with their packaging in general, but I feel like this packaging in particular is very authentic to the vibe and fragrance that I get from this candle. Really, really like it. It kind of reminds you of just like a kind of a gloomy, cloudy day but you're at the pumpkin patch and everything is, I don't know. It's a nice fragrance. Nice visual to complement the fragrance. That's what I meant to say. But I do like it. But again, I felt like I was kind of over it this year. That's what happens sometimes when I'm always getting new fragrances to try. Strength and throw on this one was okay. I would give this about a 6.5. It wasn't a barn burner for me. But again, I feel like I might take a pause and a break from Palo Santo Pumpkin. I don't know. Maybe I'll feel differently about it. But I feel like I've had my fill of it. And I'm kind of over it by now. All right, Caramel Sundays Always Autumn in their 4-wick. Now, this is their version of Bath & Body Works Autumn. Cringle Candle has their Autumn Amber. Very, very similar fragrance. Let me see if I have the fragrance notes listed here. It's funny because I keep my fragrance notes here, and I think this one was maybe in the June restock. Was it? Look at me. All of my papers are flying everywhere here. Always autumn. Top notes of gala apple, juicy fig, mid notes of eucalyptus leaf, and base notes of fir balsam. This was really good, you guys, and I did really enjoy it. I could see myself repurchasing this, although I'm not sure if I will get this one, or because it's so similar to Cringle candles, always, not always, Autumn Amber, because they're so similar to each other. And now that Cringle offers Autumn Amber in a 4-wick, it might be a little bit more economical for me to purchase the Cringle version if it goes on like one of their 30% off sales, because this vessel was $65, so it's a little bit more expensive. But I do like the fragrance, and also I have a hair just right here in the middle of my forehead that's driving me crazy. But yeah, this one was beautiful. It burned really nicely, no burn issues. Strength and throw was good and solid on it, good solid 8, which is good because this is one of my all-time favorite like autumnal fragrances. I'm definitely at the point in the season where I'm over these types of scents, but I do particularly like burning this fragrance in starting like late August all the way through early October. This is one of my favorite scent profiles. So I would repurchase it just based off the scent profile. But again, I feel like it's really similar to Cringle Candles Autumn Amber. So it might just come down to like price point with each of those. All right, let's throw in the Bath and Body Works candle, the one lone Bath and Body Works candle that I have to review for you guys. And here's the thing, you guys, I was actually just like kind of reorganizing my collection this weekend. I think I only have one Bath and Body Works candle remaining in my collection, and that is Winter White Woods, which truthfully, you guys, I haven't found another company that has come out with a dupe for that yet. And if that one returns, which usually it does around Candle Day, I know it didn't last year, but if that fragrance returns, I will definitely buy more backups of it. It is one of the few fragrances that I'll make an exception for, just like with Yankee, they're home for the holidays. It's a very nostalgic scent to me. But anyways, getting back on track, this is Evergreen and Fir. I bought this last year. I think it came out around Candle Day. Fragrance notes of white fir needles, fresh cedar wood, and sweet sap. I do think that this was a repackage of just a fragrance called Evergreen. This was a nice fragrance, you guys. A good, again, woody tree scent. You guys know that tends to be what I like in a lot of tree scents. I don't really like overly piney, like pine needles. This has a little bit of sappiness to it as well, which I kind of appreciate. Now, this did burn a little bit dirty for me. Thankfully, I did not have puny wicks, which typically is one of my issues that I have with Bath and Body Works candles. But yeah, I do like this fragrance. It's not unique enough that I feel like I need to go back and buy more of them. Although this was a repurchase. I went through one of these last year, and then this was like my backup. But this was a really nice fragrance to go ahead and start pairing with a lot of other, fall candles. I'm also starting to do some reviews for Christmas scents. So I did finish burning this one. I would give this fragrance was about like a 7 in terms of strength and throw, decent performer. And I would recommend it if you are somebody who likes to purchase from Bath and Body Works and you're wanting a good, warm, woody tree fragrance, then I would recommend that one if it does make a return this year. Okay, another Caramel Sundays candle that I finished burning is the fragrance Graveyard. Now, this came back, I believe, in the September restock. Now I've got papers all over the place here, you guys. September restock, yeah, Graveyard had fragrance notes, top notes of apples, sweet ginger, almond macaroons, mid notes of juniper, cranberry, crunchy leaves, and base note of cedar, amaretto, and vanilla. And I liked this one. Was it a love, and do I need to repurchase it? No. This was kind of like a mix of like, I would say this is like 75% outdoorsy fresh, kind of in the vein of like leaves, always autumn, those types of like outdoorsy fresh. But then there was a slight gourmand element, which was coming from that kind of like amaretto and almond macaroon note. It was a nice scent. Now, I will say that the strength and throw on this one wasn't overly in your face. I would give this one about a 6. Again, I don't think that I will repurchase this one if it comes back next year, but I do know that it is a fan favorite, and a lot of people were really excited to see it make a comeback. Now, while we are talking about fragrances kind of in that vein, I did finish burning the fragrance Leaf Peeper from Cringle Candle. This one is a fragrance that I tend to like to burn alongside Always Autumn, Autumn Amber, Bath & Body Works Autumn. I feel like they complement each other well, but they are different fragrances. Leaf Peeper has fragrance notes of crisp green apple, peach slices, dewy greens, clove, cinnamon, autumn acorns, lakeside woods, tonka bean, and musk. This is very much described as a sibling to Bath & Body Works Leaves. If you like leaves, you would like this fragrance. I feel like this is a little bit more toned down. It's not as in your face as leaves tends to be. Although I was hearing from some people that this year's version of leaves was not what they remembered it being in terms of strength and throw, that it was pretty weak, which that was surprising for me to hear because leaves has always been like a powerhouse fragrance, in my opinion, from that brand. Now, here's the thing I am going to say. In this 2-wick, I would not repurchase this fragrance in the 2-wick because I felt like the strength and throw on this one was not what I wanted it to be. It ended up being anywhere between a 5 and a 6. I did have some wick issues on this one where I feel like the wicks kind of dudded out. Now this, oh, sorry about that. This, yeah, was a February 2025 pour. So for me personally, I do know that this is available now in a 4-wick moving forward to next year because I do like this fragrance paired with Autumn Amber or Always Autumn. Like it is one of my like nostalgic fall fragrance combos. I would repurchase the fragrance, but I would go ahead and purchase it in the 4-wick just to go ahead and get that extra oomph out of it. But a fragrance that is in my constant like fall rotation. Oh, and while we're talking about that, see, here it is, Autumn Amber. So see, I was burning this as a combo. I was typically burning the Always Autumn as my like out here in the living room, and then I was burning Leaf Peeper in one of the bedrooms, and then in the other bedroom I would also burn Autumn Amber. And since I've just gone on, it's Apple Blossom, Floral, Cedarwood, Pine. Again, similar to Bath & Body Works Autumn. This one might be slightly sweeter, I feel like, than the Always Autumn. You know, now that I have them, hold that up, side by side. This one's a little bit sweeter with that apple note. Yeah, then Always Autumn. They're both really fantastic in their own right. I don't know. Maybe now I'll need both of them again next year. But yeah, this one, again, it's now available in a 4-wick. And so the 4-wicks I typically purchase in fragrances that I know are reliable and fragrances that I love. So I could definitely see myself repurchasing those for next fall in the 4-wick formats. Okay, here's another fragrance, you guys, that I do love from HOMEWORX. I actually still have a backup of this fragrance because I am concerned that they're going to discontinue it at some point. That's what HOMEWORX does. Or I've started to notice with HOMEWORX, they're starting to repackage some fragrances. But this is the scent Pumpkin Cold Brew. I discovered this in the fall of 2024. We have fragrance notes of sweet pumpkin, espresso, toffee, and vanilla cream. And like I said, I have one more backup of this. You can see that it burned all the way until, I've never really seen this with a HOMEWORX candle where the wicks went completely white. This fragrance to me is pumpkin, but there's a creamy coffee note in the background, and the toffee and vanilla kind of sweeten it out a little bit. It's very, very well done. I really like this fragrance. It's very cozy and inviting. Yeah, and I really like this one. Like I said, I do have a backup of it. Strength and throw was pretty good for me as well. This was also about an 8 in terms of performance. I don't know if I'm going to light my backup this season or not. I might hold on to it again, just because I've got a lot of fragrances that I'm trying to get some post-burn thoughts on. But I do like this fragrance as long as it's available. It is a scent that I will continue to repurchase. Another candle from HOMEWORX that I did finish burning is the fragrance Cypress and Fir. We have fragrance notes here of fresh cypress, fir balsam, Palo Santo, and amber. And here's the thing, you guys. This one was sent to me in PR by the brand for Christmas in July. I liked this fragrance a lot, but I didn't feel the need to repurchase it. Is it so unique and something that I totally need backups of? No. Is it a nice tree fragrance? Yes. It does lean a little bit more piney and not as woody as what my fragrance preferences are when it comes to tree notes. And so that's why I didn't get a backup. But I do like it. It is very nice. I get a little bit more cypress in this fragrance. Very, very well done. It blended well with a lot of other candles in my collection. Again, especially going into like the fall season. So if you have this one in your collection right now, I would actually encourage you to go ahead and break it out if you're looking for like some like fall to holiday transitional scents, because this doesn't scream Christmas to me. It screams tree for sure, but it's more like you could burn it right now. You could also burn it after the holidays. There's nothing really about it that makes me think distinct Christmas tree. So really nice fragrance, but again, not one that I felt like I needed backups of. Another Caramel Sundays candle that I did finish burning was the fragrance Falloween. I did end up going with this in a 4-wick after initially having it on my 2-wick wish list. And let me see, it had fragrance notes of Belgian waffles, pistachio cream, mid notes of sugar cookies, base note of autumn spices and butter. And this one, you guys, was really good. It was a more unique gourmand fragrance because it kind of started out super, super sweet, almost cloying, but then it would settle into like the second, like, not second burn, but like when it, got into like the like hour and a half, 2 hours of burn time, I started to notice more of that sugar cookie and like butter and a little bit more density coming out in it, and it balanced out. Also, the pistachio note started out really prominent, but then kind of took a background. I like this one. I kind of feel like the only reason that would prevent me from getting more of it next year is that I felt like there were some mixed opinions. My daughter didn't really like it. She said that it smelled like yogurt to her nose. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't really smell yogurt. But so I think that would be the only thing that would prevent me from repurchasing it. But again, I did burn it all the way down and I did really enjoy it. And then the final, actually not final candle, I do have one more that I left out there. Pumpkin Gingerbread. I love this fragrance from HOMEWORX. We have fragrance notes here of pumpkin puree, harvest spice, ginger zest, and vanilla caramel. Now, I've tried a couple of gingerbread fragrances now. This to me is definitely more, you have pumpkin mixed with the gingerbread in this, but it works really nicely, almost to the point that I'm going to go out on a limb here, you guys, and say I think that this is still probably my favorite gingerbread fragrance. Now, this is very much got a zip and zing to it of ginger. It's spicy. But again, the pumpkin note in here, I think, is what keeps it from being too spicy and too gingery. If you don't like gingerbread fragrances, if you've typically found them to be a little bit too spicy, you might want to be cautious about this. I now have had a couple of other gingerbread fragrances that I've tried. I've tried the new Jolly Gingerbread from Cringle. That one is definitely more like you're baking gingerbread cookies in the oven. There's no frosting note. There's no frosting note in this one either. The Caramel Sundays frosted gingerbread does have a frosting note to it. That definitely smells like gingerbread cookies that have already been decorated and whatnot. So a little bit different aspects, but this one's got kind of a pumpkin note to it. But I will tell you that this actually doesn't scream fall to me. This is a really nice fall to holiday transitional scent. You could even really burn this at Christmas time if you want something that's a little bit more gingery and spicy, but maybe it's got a little bit of twist on it. I think that this would burn really nicely with some tree fragrances. I do want a backup of this. I have not yet purchased it. When I did the review, this was out of stock on the Slatkin & Co. website. I did see it pop back into stock and it was on sale. So I don't know. I haven't checked before doing this video if it's back, if it's still in stock. If it is, I might need to purchase at least one more of these because I do really, really like this fragrance. It's very, very well done. But this is also, I had mentioned in the dedicated review, this is a repackage of 2024's Pumpkin Ginger Snap. So if you have that one in your collection, you're not going to, if you have a few of those, you don't need this one. You're not missing out because it is actually literally the exact same fragrance notes. But if you liked that candle and you didn't have backups, this is the exact same thing. So good to know. And then the last candle that I actually don't have here in front of me to show you guys because I've already cleaned out the vessel and kind of tucked it away is my 150 ounce Bakery on Main candle from Caramel Sundays. If you caught my most recent October restock haul, you guys will see that I purchased another one in the October restock because I finished up the first one, which I purchased back in either March or April of this year. I want to say it was during the April restock. I purchased that giant Bakery Bakery on Main. It is my favorite vanilla gourmand fragrance, and I did already repurchase it. I am finding that the new one is actually a little bit stronger than the first one, but if you are somebody who loves vanilla gourmand fragrances, I would highly recommend that scent in the 4-wick format, either in that big Mama Jamma size, or if they release it in their regular 4-wick 40-ounce vessels. I do know that they're also restocking that this month in the like limited edition gold vessel jar that's 43 ounces. So if you like the Bakery on Main fragrance, or if you've been intrigued by it, I would say put it on your wish list for the November restock, because it is a great fragrance. And they did say the other day on their Instagram that that fragrance will not be restocked in December. So if you want some Bakery on Main, November is going to be the chance to get it. So I feel like I kind of like sped through all of those. I think I talked about all of the candles here, but yeah, went through, finished up a bunch of these candles, and it feels good to kind of clean things out as new stuff is arriving. In fact, I'm looking over here and I just had a package delivered from Cringle Candle. Those are some of the new 3 wicks, as well as a fragrance that I have never had from them in full size. So I'm really excited to go open up that package as soon as I am done filming here. So let me know in the comment section down below if you are you done burning a lot of your fall fragrances, or are you still kind of in a transition period? I am definitely starting, I'm just being honest with you guys, I'm kind of hate burning the rest of my fall fragrances that I've already started burning, unless I know that they're ones, like for example, I have a Harvest Leaves over here in the luxe size that I know that I love that fragrance. I'm totally fine putting that back into my collection for next year. But I've got like 2 more apple fragrances that I'm going to finish burning up and then be done with, because I am definitely feeling the pull towards holiday fragrances. My house clearly still decorated for fall. I probably don't see myself decorating for Christmas till at least mid-November, maybe the weekend before Thanksgiving. So yeah, but I'm definitely in a place right now where I'm gravitating towards a lot of like cranberry, some tree scents, but then there's also scents that are like distinctly Christmas to me that I'm not quite ready to burn yet. So you guys let me know in the comment section down below what you are burning, what you're trying to finish up as we head into the month of November. So again, if you like this video, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing if you are new. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.